What's up everyone, I'm Reina.
And I'm Phil.
And welcome back to 1 Minute Board Games. Today we are going to be doing our monthly recap for the month of April.
So these are all the games that we played this month.
And just real quick, let's get into some statistics.
Yeah.
So in April, we played 26 games together, 21 of which were unique and 11 of which were new to us.
21?
Yeah. And these are only the board games that we played together. So I did not include ones that I played with other people, you played with other people, or I played by myself.
That's true.
But I will put in the link below if you guys are curious as to which ones we played on our own and with other people. So before we get started, I do want to do a quick check-in from last month. At the end of last month's video, we did talk about an older game that we want to play this month and also a newer game that we want to play this month. So I just want to check in and see if we managed to play those.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you remember the new game that you wanted to play this month from last month's video?
So I think my new game that I wanted to play was Warcraft, Warcraft 3, the board game. And unfortunately, I did not get that to the table. I actually haven't even read the rulebook yet, so kind of behind.
And my new game that I wanted to get to the table was On Mars, which we unfortunately did not get to the table this month as well.
But if you noticed in the beginning, we did get Lisboa, so we got one Lacerda game in there.
Yeah, I think we can do one new Lacerda game a month. They're pretty heavy, so
Yeah,
it kind of just puts us out for a quick moment, but they're really good.
My brain just melts when I'm playing that game.
It totally does.
Yeah. So what older game did you want to play this month?
So the game that I wanted to play this month that we had already played before was actually Paladins of the West Kingdom, which we did get back to the table.
We did get that one.
I really wanted to play that one, so I think I made sure. I told him, I was like, we're playing Paladins tonight, and he's like, okay.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where I'm just like, what do you feel like playing? And she'll be kind of indecisive, but this was very decisive. So I was like, okay.
I'm like, we're playing Paladins.
Yeah. Okay, so my game was War of the Ring, and unfortunately we didn't get that one to the table either. So both of my games that I wanted didn't happen.
I feel like we were a bit burnt out on heavier games this month.
A little bit.
It's also the middle of my school term right now, which is a bit crazy. It's a lot of work, so we did play less games than we did in March, and also just less heavier games overall.
Yep. So without further ado, let's get into April. The first thing we'd like to talk about is a game that we'd like to get back to the table.
Yeah, I think I'll go ahead and start us off. So a game that I would love to get back to the table this month is going to be Lisboa.
Wow.
Are you okay?
Is that going to be our Lacerda for the month?
So Lisboa is designed by the designer Vital Lacerda, and it's a pretty heavy game. It's the heaviest game that I have played for sure, and I think it's one of the heaviest games that you played.
Yeah, I think it's up there with Mage Knight as being the most complex game that I've ever played. But yeah, it was tough. Yeah, I was just like...
We had to prepare for that game, so I kind of had an idea of how to play because I had watched the entirety of Before You Play's playthrough of Lisboa, so I had an idea of what types of turns to take, whereas Phil, he kind of just read the rulebook that morning and went straight into it, and so I would take my turns pretty quickly because I had watched this entire game be played out already, and he would just kind of sit there, a little bit of analysis paralysis, but like no shade to you, but it's a heavy game, and to decide what to do, I don't even know how you did that. And he beat me, so... But at what cost?
I just remember the first couple turns, she's less like, okay, I'm going to play this card, I'm going to do this, and then that results in this, and I'm just like, what? Can you explain that? I was just so lost, and I had just finished reading the rule book.
So it put him out for the entire day. He was a bit wiped out. But I do want to try it again. I feel like I really need to try playing heavier games more than once. Are you ready for that?
Maybe. We'll see.
It could be our Lacerda for the month. Okay. So what about you?
So the game that I would like to get back to the table is Merchants of Magic.
Oh.
It's basically a roll and write game where you are the shopkeeper with all these magical items that you are trying to sell to patrons, and the way to build these items that the people want is by rolling the dice and filling out the requirements. And I think I just really like the theme. I think I like the fantasy,
It's so cool.
Dungeons and Dragons theme.
Yeah, like for example, you could have this item, it's like Fury Bracers of the Elves, and you have to unlock the Fury portion of it, the Bracer portion of it, and the Elves portion of it in order to be able to sell it. And it's super cool because the items rotate from like my side to his side, and so something that you might have your eye on might not be there when you're ready to buy it. And it was super cool. Yeah, it was a cool game. I would love to play it.
I don't know if you can notice, but this month was kind of like a roll and write kind of month. We were kind of burnt out on heavy games, so a lot of the games that we were playing this month were a lot of roll and writes or flip and writes. So that one was on my like top lists. It was really good.
Nice.
Really good.
I'd love to play that next month.
Yeah.
Okay, so next we want to talk about a game that surprised us this month, and you want to go ahead and start things off?
Sure. So my pick is Keystone North America.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that game really surprised me. I kind of wasn't sure what to expect from the game, but then I read the rulebook and then I did the playthrough on Rose Gauntlet. The live stream.
Yeah, we demoed that game with Isaac and Lindsay for Aw Shucks that weekend, and it was super fun.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, right after the stream, we just played a game by ourselves right outside.
Yeah, we went to go play another one because it's kind of difficult being on a stream and playing a game. So I wasn't satisfied with the score that I had, so I was like, we need to play this again. I need to understand, because it's a really cute theme, and I feel like the concept of it is relatively simple. It's like tile placement, but there's a lot of thinking that has to go into it.
You like try to want to build the best like ecosystem happening, but then it's really tough. And I don't know, it's a great game, wonderful art.
Yeah, art is beautiful. That's coming to Kickstarter, I believe, May 4th. So if you're watching this, be sure to check it out.
Yes. So what was your game?
So a game that surprised me was Bites.
Ooh!
Yeah, Bites is published by Board Game Tables, and you basically take on the role of these ants. And on the table, there's this trail of food. And the food is different colors that corresponds to the different colored ants. And it's super cool because you don't have control of any specific ant, but you pick one color, move it to that color food, and then you pick the one in front of it, and that's the one that you take for your little pile. And it has a lot of variability because it has different like rules cards that you can randomize each game. So, you know, one rule set might not be the same for the next game. And also, the number of points that each food item is worth is not determined until the very end. So there's surprisingly a lot of strategy to it. Yeah. Super good quality components. And yeah.
I love the components because it's like dual cardboard, but the two layers are both different. And so it just feels like a 3D piece.
They're thick.
They're really nice.
The food pieces and the ant meeples.
And I also believe Bites is nominated for like a Golden Geek Award.
Oh yeah, I hope they get it. I think I did vote for them.
Which specific category, but I know that they're nominated.
Yeah, awesome game.
So next we're going to talk about a game that we would cull from our collection.
I feel like it might be the same one.
Probably.
Okay,
maybe.
So let's count down from 3 and then say it after 1, okay? 3, 2, 1, GPS! Yeah, it's also a game by Board Game Tables, and they actually sell it in like a little 3-pack of 3 really cute small games. I feel like the intention is there, but it's a bit finicky.
It honestly is a really cute game, and I do like it, but we had a pretty strong list of games that we played this month, and so of the
26 or so, 21 games that we played.
It was
probably
at the bottom of the list.
Also, I felt so GPS, basically you're spinning this spaceship on like the planet, and you have to try to place your ships in numerical order. And the board just got a bit crowded, and we were only 2 players, so I can't even imagine with more players how that would be.
Because it can go up to 5, 6, something like that.
And then we also had to keep holding down and then like spinning really carefully so things wouldn't go flying.
Because if you spin it and it knocks the board, then you don't know where your satellites are, and it kind of messes with the game.
It's a very cute game and solid gameplay, but just probably not for us. All right, so now we are going to talk about our top 3 games for the month of April, starting with number 3. And do you want to get us started?
Okay, my number 3 is going to be Silver and Gold.
Oh!
Silver and Gold, yeah. So I was really digging Roll and Rights this month, and it was just a really nice play. And it's cool because each of the cards that you're playing with is pretty much writable. And I don't know, it's a quick play.
All the polyominoes.
Nice, all the polyominoes.
If like the shape doesn't fit on your board, there's like ways to go around it, so it's like not completely a wasted turn.
Yeah, and it's just like a nice puzzle to try to figure out.
Yeah, small, it's portable, something you could bring to like a brewery or something. You know?
Yeah, and it's also waterproof because you just write it.
Oh, nice. Let's spill some water on it. Let's see.
Yeah. I mean, it should, right?
Okay.
All right, so your number 3?
So my number 3 game of the month is Azul Summer Pavilion.
Yeah. I knew that was going to definitely be in the top 3.
So I finally played Summer Pavilion this month after everyone telling me that it was the best Azul game, and I have to say that I do agree. If you have played the original Azul, it plays a bit different because when you take your pieces, you actually put them off to the side, and you don't place them on your player board until later. And I feel like that really changes a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I love tile laying games, and I like to think I'm a little bit good at them. And so I crushed everyone when we played it, and it was a great experience for me.
I did terribly at that game. My brain just does not work for those types of games, so yeah.
GG's though.
Yeah. Seriously. So let's talk about number 2. Your number 2 was?
My number 2 game is Merchants of Magic, a set of Watch Tale.
Nice.
Yeah, I think this is my favorite roll and write that I have played so far.
Wow.
Yeah, and I have played a lot of them this month. A lot of them I played solo, to be honest. I just think that the theme is super cool. We already explained it earlier in the video, but the theme is awesome, and I feel like the gameplay is pretty cool, and it's super satisfying. I do feel like the solo play I'm not like the biggest fan of because instead of the items rotating like a conveyor belt, it just goes straight like to the discard pile.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I only have I think maybe 4 cards in front of me unless I played it differently, and so if I wasn't able to successfully get something in time, then it's just gone forever. And then I spent my game kind of building this like certain aspects of characteristics or whatever, and then I just wasn't able to use it.
Wow.
But now that I know that you like it, let's play it.
I didn't even know that she played it solo, so that's, yeah.
Yeah, when you don't see me for a couple of hours, I'm just out here trying solo modes for all the roller cards in our collection.
Yeah. It's also just a very pretty game. The pad that they give you is very well designed, and it's just gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a great game. If you love Roll and Rights, I cannot recommend that enough.
Yeah, it's a great game. So my number 2 is going to be Exceed Fighting System. Yeah. So I specifically only have season 2, which is the Street Fighter season that happened for Exceed. And it's basically a fighting card game. I just said it. It's basically a fighting card game. What I meant to say was it's a fighting game in a card game.
It's like you're playing like the arcade games, but in card game form.
Yeah, and it's just super fun. I just keep going back to it. I remember at the start of quarantine, me and my roommate Chris, we seriously played like every day, multiple times a day, and we actually racked up like 150 games
you guys are
over.
Crazy.
I don't
like
even know.
I feel like just a couple months.
Yeah,
just a couple to a few months. Yeah.
And so
it's just such a quick game, and so naturally, like you're playing the arcade game, you want to go best out of 3, and then you probably just play more after that too.
And it's just, I love Street Fighter. I've always loved Street Fighter, and so yeah, it's always a fun time playing that game.
Level 99, if you're watching this, we want a Mortal Kombat deck.
Mortal Kombat!
Please! Fan service, give us what we want. Alright, so now we are going to be talking about our number 1 most favorite game that we played this month. And I'll have Phil take it off.
Yeah. Do you think you know what I'm going to say? I don't think she does.
I don't think I do. I need to... I feel like... I don't know. Because we played a lot of... Wait, maybe not.
I don't know what that reaction was, but are you ready?
Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Pan Am. Yeah.
What?
Were you about to say Lost Ruins? Yeah, no. Pan Am.
Wow.
Yeah, Pan Am is this. It's just such an interesting game where you are basically like your own little small airline company, and you have your own personal routes on the map. But the goal is to actually get bought out by Pan Am so that you can buy Pan Am stock. And the person that has the most Pan Am stock actually wins the game. And I don't know, it's a bidding system where you bid on these various spaces and you can get outbid by your opponents, but then you just claim your engineer back and then you can go somewhere else. And it's just so cool. I love the concept of it, and I don't know. I don't even know. Like, I actually like the theme of it. I think
like
Pan
it
Am
too.
is really interesting, and the whole aesthetic is.
Wow.
I dig it.
That's an excellent game.
Yeah.
Because you never know whether to spend your money on like stuff on the board or to save it to try and buy stocks, because the stock price fluctuates throughout the game. So like if it's at as low as it's at right now, you might want to buy and save up and stuff. But
Exactly.
yeah, we just played that a couple days ago and everyone had a blast.
Yeah.
Wow, number 1.
Yeah. Honestly, if you can find Pan Am, it does usually go on sale. I feel like it's a very underrated game, but I would definitely check it out. It's great.
Nice. Do you know what my number 1 game is?
No.
Come here.
Lost Ruins.
No. That's a great game, but not my number 1 game. I'm surprised I didn't make your list.
Yeah.
Okay, so my number 1 game is Keystone North America.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, very nice.
So I don't think we explained it earlier in the game, but it's basically a tile laying game. You have a grid of, I believe it's 4x4, right?
4x4.
And you are going to be drafting these various animal tiles. And these animal tiles, they are numbered from, I believe, 1 to maybe 5.
1 to 5, yeah.
1 to 5, and they also each have a different ecosystem that they live in. And so you're trying to make chains on your board, but they have to be consecutive. So like 1, 2, 3, 4, no gaps at all. And they also all have to be living in the same ecosystem. And so it's such a really cool like puzzle, because you want to figure out how to lay stuff on your board, and it's actually incredibly difficult to do efficiently. But so I like that little puzzle aspect of it, and yeah, definitely my number 1 game of this month for sure.
The art is so cute. And
Art is cute, and they have a really great solo system that they just told us about, and I think it's like a field journal type thing, and it's really cool, awesome scenarios, and they're very thematic as well. So
definitely excited to try that.
yeah, number 1 game.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about a new game that we want to get into next month.
Yeah. So a new game that I want to play was actually lent to us by one of our friends, Joel, and it is Coffee Roaster.
Yay.
Coffee Roaster is a solo player game, and it is published by the Japanese company Sashi and Sashi, and it's all about roasting coffee, a solo game about roasting coffee just for me.
Yep. She recently made a Twitter thread on this about talking about coffee games, and so
Yeah, and apparently, because I love coffee, you also love coffee.
I do.
And we have no coffee-themed board games, so I'm feeling a bit like a fake fan. So I hollered out to my friends in the Twitterverse and asked for the recommendations on coffee-themed board games, and there are a lot out there.
Yeah.
And Joel answered my calling, so thank you.
Shout out to Joel.
So I'm super excited to play that one next month.
So my new game, well, I'm a little cheating right here because so we set it up and we played half of the game already this month. But my game is Brass Birmingham, and it's an incredibly difficult game to understand and to play your first playthrough. But I think universally, the more you play it, the more deep it gets, and
it's a common thing that the very first learn and playthrough is a bit rough, but after more plays, everyone says that it becomes like one of the best games out there.
Yeah.
So glad to hear that we're not alone in thinking that, because the first game was a bit rough.
Yeah, it's not quite the most intuitive, but I think the more you think about it, it starts making a lot more sense. So yeah, I'm super excited to get a full playthrough because while I was playing it, I was just like, "Ooh, this is cool. This is pushing some good buttons."
I could tell when you get excited about a game.
Yeah, there are some really cool combo potentials that
actually
was happening.
Have it still set up underneath the table here.
Yeah, that's why we don't have it actually lifted up.
We played half the game and then we put it away because I was getting a bit frustrated, but
yeah.
I think I'm ready to pick it up again.
The benefit of having a board game table, the topper.
All right, so lastly, I want to talk about an older game that we want to play next month, and let's go ahead and start us off with you.
Whoops. Okay. So my game is going to be Moonrakers.
Oh, yeah, you've been wanting to play that.
I've been wanting to play Moonrakers because I think I totally dig the idea of the game that, you know, you can't really get too far by yourself, so you need to like bring people in and do these missions. And I think once all of us have been vaccinated and we can get more people around the table, then, you know, Moonrakers would be an excellent...
So Moonrakers is a deck building negotiation game, which is super cool because you have these contracts that you're trying to fulfill, but they require so much that basically not one person can complete the contract by themselves.
Yeah.
So then they're going to go ahead and invite other players to the table like, hey, you want to get on this? You want to try to complete this contract with me?
I'll give you like, you know, half of the gold, but you have to take some damage for it.
And I'm like, no, I want all of the gold and taking no damage.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's how the game goes. And we tried it once at 3 players online, but I think it would be fun with more.
I think it'd be fun with more, and I think it'd be more fun, like, actually in person.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So, Moonrakers.
Yeah. So, an older game that I want to get back to the table, please, is Dune Imperium.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I just been really craving to play. It's a great game.
I didn't know that she was craving it, so.
Yeah. So, Dune Imperium is a deck builder worker placement game. And when we first got it, we were both, well, not we were both. When I first played it, I wasn't convinced on it. And then I woke up the next morning, I was like, I like it. So we played a lot of games at first, and I think we got a bit burnt out. And I think the last game that we played, you didn't have the best game.
Yeah, it was pretty rough my last playthrough. I don't know what happened, but nothing was working out for me.
Nothing happened. So everything was going wrong.
It was pretty rough for me.
Yeah, you know, it's only natural when you have a rough game. Like, I just need to shove this away for a bit, create some distance so that I don't end up disliking this game. But I think that enough time has passed. Like, simply.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess we'll pop it out next month. So Rado made a comment last month saying that we should rapid fire some of the games that we didn't mention. So here we go.
Here we go.
So, War Chest.
Y'all know the drill. If you watch our previous video, you know how much we love War Chest and we cannot recommend it enough.
Yep.
Lost Ruins of Arnak.
So I think it's a really great game, but I just don't think it left a memorable experience for me. Curious Cargo.
I love this game. I want to play it more. Very brain burny, but in all the right ways. Let's play this game more. Dice Throne.
It's Battle Yahtzee. If you like Yahtzee, if you like dice, play it. Fleet the Dice Game.
One of the best roll and writes out there. Super satisfying to check things off and check things off and check things off. Mountain Goats.
Great game. We played it horribly wrong the first time, but I think with the new rules, it's going to be amazing. Orleans.
One of my favorite games of all time. Tiny Epic Dinosaurs.
I love dinosaurs. I don't think you noticed this, but, you know, dinosaurs. I love dinosaurs. One Card Wonder.
A really great, quick play.
Yeah. Simple.
Yeah. We did it. Hey.
And that was our rapid fire round.
Yeah, let us know how your board games for the month of April went in the comments down below.
And we'll see you in the next month.
Bye.
Bye.